This is Kal Kat, the Kal Katster, and this is a review of Episode 5 of Star Trek Picard Season 2, Fly Me to the Moon, I believe is the name of it. Yeah, so... we have the Borg Queen kind of trying to convince... The Jurati's asleep for some reason, and the Borg Queen hacks into the internet and somehow uses some Picard's voice, which she somehow knows, and is able to then call for the French police to come or a French policeman to come to the Picard chateau, which is where the ship is being hidden, and Jonathan Frakes directed this, so they established that it's actually in France, even though they went to L.A. somehow. Other side of the world, really. So they established, yes, it's supposed to be in France. The chateau is, Seven and Raffi try to rescue they rescue Rios from the shuttle by using an EMP thing stolen from Battlefield California, or the Clemens Vengeance, or I think it's actually currently called Space Time Eye. Yeah, they stole it from that. a EMP device that somehow stops the laws of physics, and things just stop dead in their tracks when they hit the thing. Why it didn't stun the entire bus as well, I don't know. But then they use it on the guards and the escape, and so that they can have a message about that. There's intercut with scenes of Picard's ancestor, great aunt, I guess, 400 years earlier, who is a test pilot for a mission to Europa and Io. She's supposed to discover an alien microbe or something on Io. The lady, the Watcher lady, turns out not to be Guinan. Guinan was just there. That was a red herring, it turns out. And Adam Soong is also a red herring. He's there, but he's also a red herring. He's Kal Kat, and he's basically playing Kal Kat. And Brent Spiner's playing me, which is hilarious. And I have two cats, black cats. They're not daughters, but okay. And Houdini, who can go outside. So there's like the male cat. So they know about my cats. So they made Soji playing. They got Soji playing the daughter, playing one of the cats, and she can't go outside. Actually, Houdini can go outside limitedly. He can go outside. He's not allergic to everything outside. He's just not supposed to eat anything out there. So that's incorrect. So they know about the cats. Abra and Kadabra never go outside, but it's not that they couldn't. They just don't. The cats. It's weird that after Soong, with the positronic thing, that they were able to make male and female datas out of the positron, the neuron, including Soji, and have them look exactly like their ancestor from this other story. Why would they look anything like their ancestor? They wouldn't. That's odd. Q being the shrink is odd. They're able to hack into the shrink's office is impossible unless they have bugs in there. And Q putting on a Freud accent is funny. He's doing the Mark's cards, basically. Q is playing Mark's cards in that scene. Yes, tell me about... I would think, though, that even in 2024, 2 years from now, that a bad guy alien pretending to be Sigmund Freud would be noticed. She would be like, okay, you're not the psychologist. You're just playing an accent and pretending to be Sigmund Freud. We would know that in this current century. That's a Cillian. The guy's a Cillian. He's Q, I guess, or something. But yeah, Adam Soong is not a Cillian, apparently. He's just smart. He's the ancestor of Eric Soong from Enterprise, and later on Noonien Soong, and then Data, of course. She has a debilitating. His daughter has a debilitating disease. She can't go outside. Like that disease makes you not want to go outside. Whereas the reason the great aunt is has melancholia. She gets depressed, which would make her automatically not able to go on a space flight as a NASA astronaut. They would say no. That would be the last place you want to be, is alone for several months floating through space. No. They wouldn't let her go, I wouldn't think. Unless Q has altered the timeline to give her melancholia somehow. Which explains that weird scene where he couldn't use his powers. So his powers are being drained, so I don't think it's necessarily that the Overlords... That'd be cool if it was the Overlords and they were messing with the Continuum. We get to see the Continuum. But I don't know if they're going to do that. I think they're going to skirt around it and have some other... Maybe the Gary 7 people or something who are involved. And that's not Laris, it's Laris's ancestor, apparently. Which is, everybody's ancestors and family. That's right out of Canary Space and Space Universe. It's right out of my stories. So. But I didn't write this, which is weird. They just cribbed it. Space-time Mind stopping a bus. That's right out of that. Except it was a train in that case, but it's a bus in this one. Girardi figures out the Borg Queen's plot and goes to blow her away. Shotgun, of course. It's a setup because the Borg Queen has apparently found a way to escape into her mind by touching her and putting a simulation thing, even though she's kind of already there. And Girardi's unstable. She's got like hallucinogenic visions anyway, so sure. Picard and the others go back to the ship, and they eventually... at one point they also encounter an ancestor of Elrod, on the bus. Which is like, okay, how do you get there? I know the other actors want to be in the scene, so they put Sochi in there to put her in the scene. And there's Q gives Adam Soong not knowing it's Q, they don't know it's Q, but he suspects the cure, but it's temporary. She is allowed to come out, and they have apparently drone force fields. I don't know where he got that technology either. He's a Cillian apparently. He has some technology, which would beg the question: if he is a Cillian, like from the future, why can't he cure her? Why is he struggling with 21st century technology? He's just, But is it the old I could help but can't thing? Because it would affect the timeline. So Q is messing with the timeline by giving the cure, which doesn't work. So he asks for more because he's apparently addicted to finding the cure or something, which is a little weird because why would he do that? He doesn't really trust him. Almost kill her twice or once. And he's probably going to kill her again. You would think at that point then he would just like tell Q to get lost. Oh my. Which is something else not to do with Star Trek, except that it was related to Star Trek because of how the characters are acting. They're acting like the characters from Big Bang Theory. So they go onto a thing, they go onto a NASA party to try to infiltrate it. The Borg Queen is apparently there in flashbacks because she got inside her head by touching her neck. There's a scene which he puts the cure in there's a medically inaccurate scene where he injects her and then blood comes out of the injection site just a little bit, but not a lot. There'd be more than that. They'd have to... It's an artery or something. If it was in a muscle, well, then it makes sense, but it wasn't. So that was incorrect. was on the daughter, though. That was the Soong type daughter. That Maddox building the Soong type daughter wouldn't know what she looks like and wouldn't be modeled after an ancestor of Soong necessarily. But okay, whatever. And also the fact that she looks nothing like Lao from Data actually built the daughter in the next generation. So, geez. And the parody that were called Kama and Sutra, which was funny. And Sophie and Dosh and Kama and Sutra. Yeah, so... But here we have a Star Trek crew watching stuff. Yeah. Or at least it really, really seems like it. And Girardi is clearly crazy. And the cop guy got wounded or something, and his spleen was she said the spleen is in a box. They're dragging the cop away. Yeah, why weren't there other cops there? And why was Girardi asleep? Makes sense. Unless, like, the passage of time was being altered by the Borg Queen screwing with the timeline. Well, I know she was in the chateau and the Queen was in the ship, but the ship's apparently parked at the chateau, which is in France, where it's supposed to be, I guess. Well, anyway, there are a few unanswered questions, but I'm assuming because they're staying on Earth. And last week I didn't mention that they got the actor who played the guy, the I hate you, I berate you. They got the actor that played that guy in Star Trek 4, brought him back and put him in the bus scene in the other bus. They're on a transit bus. 2024. Of course, it was kind of silly in the 80s to do that because it wouldn't happen, but now it especially wouldn't have happened. Because the driver wouldn't bus driver on a transit bus wouldn't put up with somebody blaring a boom box on their bus. They'd say turn it off before they even said anything. Like, no. But yeah, you can't do that. Even in the 80s, you weren't allowed to turn your radios on the bus. It said so, and then different things you weren't allowed to do, like you weren't allowed to smoke, you weren't allowed to drink, you weren't allowed to turn on your radio, you weren't allowed to, yeah, it was one of the, I think you weren't allowed to go shirtless was another one. It was like a shirt, something like that. You weren't allowed to go shirtless. Or shoeless. Couldn't be shoeless either. Shoeless was a liability thing because they had lifts back then, these are clunky lift things. You could get your foot caught in there. Oh. So yeah, and those older buses. Yeah, they even got a hold of an older minibus to film in twice. It's not the same bus as the jail bus they used. It's a different one. Of course, both of them are Transformers. There's a Bussy Man, who was the one in there. The one with the I hate you, I beer guy was on the Bussy Man. And the jail bus was Jail Bus Bot. So there's a reference to Starship Locations meets the Transformers too. Also, the French cop guy was Marlo Fuck You. But yes, to be strangled by the Borg Queen. Awesome. I'll do it. For art. Anyways, yeah. Or at least it was a Marlo Fuck You type of person, let's say. Also, the cop saying, "Oh, Captain," was also one of the characters. It was Cowpoke or somebody. So cool. Yeah, there's on location people everywhere. I wouldn't be surprised if they walk up to in the next episode to the secret guy that's doing the whole thing, and it's not me or Mark's Cards. It's the Trek Yards guy. Just fully just walks in like, oh. Or is he over there on the new Strange New Worlds? Well, he's in Canada, so he would be on Discovery. Sure. Why not? Fly me to the moon. Yeah, sure. Star Trek story. I think the main reason they're keeping a lot of it in the 21st century is because it's cheaper to film in Los Angeles and the surrounding area in the 21st century. It's also fun to see all of the that road that's been in a bunch of movies, including Mulholland Drive. That's funny. Um, Mulholland Drive reference. Great. Oh yeah, you'll also have a reference to, and they didn't catch this. You also have a reference to the to a road just outside of in the area. Everything from Chips to the Dukes of Hazzard. There's this road that the bus is on out there. Yeah, that's like just out in the hills. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah. So they weren't that far away when they filmed that. Go to Pasadena, basically. Well, but yeah, that's cool. But yeah. Anyway, so there's yeah.